Hi, it's Will from stormthecastle.com, and here on this video platform you know me as another name. This is a video on how to get started in blacksmithing really cheap. On the cheap. I know a lot of people, talk to a lot of people who'd love to get started, but they're kind of afraid of all the stuff. You can have a forge and a chimney and a smithy and all these things, and it's not true. You can get started really easy. In this video, I'm going to lay out a few different ways you can get some blacksmithing done without buying anything. Or one way is without buying anything, and another way is by getting a few basic things, and you only need 4 things. So let's do the intro and I'll launch into it. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. Stormthecastle.com. Let's make something. Okay, welcome back. So, blacksmithing is an interesting thing. It almost died out in the 60s and the 70s and maybe even the 80s, but it's experienced a revival for a lot of different reasons. And I'll do another video on the different reasons why it's experienced a revival, but I'm glad for that. You know, a lot of people are interested in it. And so how do you do it? How do you get started? You don't really have anything. You want to do a little blacksmithing. There's 2 different ways you can do it. The first way is get in touch with a blacksmith. Yes, that's true. Get in touch with a blacksmith. They're all over the place. Because it's experienced this big revival, chances are there's a blacksmith or some kind of a service near you where you can take classes, use the forge, learn some things for a small fee, and get some blacksmithing in. Let me give you an example. I did a search of Providence, which is a big city near me, of blacksmith, and this is what I came up with. A whole bunch of blacksmiths. Call them. Give them a call. See what they say. Say, hey, listen, do you give classes? Chances are good they do, because it's a good way for a blacksmith to supplement his or her income by giving classes. Saturdays, Sundays, sometimes during the week. But listen, let me tell you how to do it. On Google Maps, here's some keywords you can use to search to find out if something is near you. Of course, blacksmith. Another one is farrier, F-A-R-R-I-E-R. That's a person who shoes horses. You might find a farrier near you that gives classes, or you can talk to on the phone and find out more information, where you can go to do some blacksmithing. Another keyword is ironworks. For some reason, a lot of these places with blacksmiths call themselves a different type of ironworks. They do railings and hand rails and different things like that, so ironworks is a good keyword. Another one to look for is artists' cooperatives. In Providence, they have a cooperative where they have a potter and all the resources for pottery. And in the same building, they also have, what else? They have a bunch of things, metalworking, welding, and blacksmithing. You can go rent some space, take some classes. It's a cooperative thing, kind of nice. So look up cooperatives. Works is another term. A lot of places they call them like different works. Another thing you can do is look up a local historical society. Sometimes I have a historical society near me that gives classes on Saturdays. So look up a local historical society. So what you can do is make some phone calls to these places, find out if they have classes. If they don't, ask them. Do you know anybody that does? Chances are good they do. Go take some Saturday classes, Sunday classes, and evening classes, learn something about blacksmithing, get your hands on some hot steel, and do it for an entry fee. So now, leaving all that behind, say you want to get a few things and have a little forge in your backyard, or your front yard, your side yard. You want to do it cheap because you don't know if you're going to be blacksmithing. You want to just try it and do some things and try a few things. Well, I got some solutions for you. You only need 4 things. Assuming you have a few basic tools like a couple of hammers, some, vice grips, some screwdrivers, maybe some channel lock pliers. You get a few basic tools. You only need 4 things after that to get into blacksmithing. 1, you need a forge. Uh-oh. That's trouble, right? No. You can get a small forge. I have one. I bought it for $120 on Amazon. I'll pop in some video for you to watch me using it. $120, a little forge, gets you going. They make a larger one for about $220, $220, $240, something like that if you want to go a little larger. But $120 to get you started. Chip in with somebody if you don't have the money. And if you specifically want to do knife making, they have forges small forges like that specifically for knife making, propane operated. So, but the forge we're using, these little temporary forges, use coal. That's on to my second thing. The second thing, the second thing is an anvil. Got to get yourself some kind of a hard surface that's heavy with mass to work on so you can hammer stuff, right? You can buy an anvil for 80 bucks on Amazon, 50 or Harbor Freight and Amazon. I think 80 bucks for a 55 pounder. Right? I bought one at Harbor Freight. Just get yourself, the bigger the anvil, the better. But, you're just starting out. You want to try a few things. You don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Get yourself a small 55 pounder. That'll be fine. You'll be happy. Third thing is you need fuel for your forge. Get yourself some coal. Nowadays you can buy 20 pounds of coal, 40 pounds of coal on Amazon. I think Tractor Supply sells coal, and I think it's like $10 for a 40-pound bag. Can't go wrong there. If you're worried about the types of coal, don't worry too much. You can get I would recommend bituminous coal. That's the softer coal. It's easier to work with. Doesn't get as hot. Better for a beginner. But if you can't get bituminous, get anthracite coal. That's harder and gets hotter. Don't matter too much as a beginner. And if you're wondering about the sizes, typically nut coal is about right for a beginner. Nut coal is the size of the coal. I have a whole chart in different sizes of coal, but don't worry about any of that. That's all. Get yourself some coal. You'll be fine. So 3 things: fuel. Let me see. You get a forge for 120 bucks. Get an anvil for 80 bucks. And a thing about the anvil is check Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. You never know. Sometimes anvils come up. So forge, an anvil, some fuel, and what's the fourth thing? The fourth thing is material to work on. What are you going to be heating and working? I got a couple of suggestions for you there. How about railroad ties? Those are the railroad spikes that they use in the railroads to hold the rails down. They're about that big. Steel. Those things are beautiful. I've used them many times. They're great for beginners. The steel is very homogeneous. It heats well. It works well. You'll have fun with railroad ties. You can buy them really cheap on Amazon or eBay. All over the place you can buy them. They're available everywhere. There's railroad everywhere. Don't steal any, but just buy some. Another suggestion is go to a junkyard. Tell them you want leaf springs off a truck. Not a big truck, a smaller truck like a pickup. I did this. I went to a junkyard. I said, hey, I want a leaf spring from a truck. The guy said, I'll get you 2 of them, 15 bucks each, come back tomorrow. He pulled them off the truck, had them waiting for me when I came back the next day. I picked them up. I was like, 15 bucks. Beautiful steel. Big pieces of steel like this. Beautiful for sword making and knife making. Layers, different layered together. A lot of steel for 15 bucks each. I took them home, put them in my front yard. They disappeared that night and somebody stole them. So I got to get more. So leaf springs off of trucks, railroad ties will get you started. So that's everything. You can take a class, contact a local blacksmith, local organization to just use their stuff. Take some classes with them. Second on, if you want to buy some things, get yourself set up in your yard. You need a small temporary forge. You need a small anvil. You need some fuel, and you need some material to work on. That's it. Get yourself going. Before you know it, you'll be making swords and knives and all kinds of stuff. Check out my website. I got links. I got a whole series of stuff here. I got links to all this stuff to make it easy for you to buy. I also have a book on blacksmithing for beginners. You might want to consider buying that book too. It's available on Amazon. It's all on the website. Check the link. More stuff coming. Thank you very much. Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a subscriber, thanks for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, hit that button. I always have lots of fun and interesting and very creative projects. I do 2 new ones every week. As an example, here's a couple more videos you might want to watch.